Okay, we're all set now. Standard and Modern is finished, and we're one game apiece. It all comes down to Legacy to see who's going to be the 3-on-3 team champion. Uh, Wim at the top of Aric Halden at the top of the screen is going to be on Red Black Reanimator, up against Death and Taxes at the bottom with Oliver. Now the thing going in Oliver's favour, card disadvantage favour here. Oliver is the only player across all three formats that went through the round robin series undefeated, so he hasn't lost a match. So Aric's up against it here to try and pull off the upset. It's Oliver King at the bottom of the screen represents card disadvantage, and Aric Halden at the top of the screen represents Der Forlorn Atal Luaven Haufen, if I say that correctly. Probably not. Just waiting for Oliver. I'm not sure what the hold up is here. We've got a few people watching, interested in how this transpires. Yeah. Well, just say the biggest ever audience for X-Mage match here. This is on the minor prizes on the line. The winning team each gets 2 entries into our raffle, and the losing team gets 1 entry each. Okay, so now we're up and running. Oliver's kept his hand. We're looking at Aric's currently, he's taken a mulligan, he's down to 6. He's considering the 6. I don't think he can keep this, so he's going to have to go to 5. Just while he's deciding, we'll look at Oliver's hand. Wow, Oliver's kept a hand, a 6 lander with just a Mother of Ruins. Not sure why he kept that one. Okay, this one I think he has to keep. It's a pretty poor hand, but it looks like both players have kept poor hands. Yeah, a bit of gamesmanship there. Ryan trying to look at Oliver's hand. As he casts a Thoughtseize. Oh, he Thoughtseized himself. Wow, that's aggressive. To get Sire of Insanity. Sire of Insanity is a Mother of Ruin, so we'll see what Oliver drew there. And he's gonna turn to Animate Dead. Now, Sire of Insanity is not a legendary creature, so Caracas can't do anything, as Oliver has to discard his entire hand. So I think this is going to be a very fast one. It looks like game 1 to Aric and the European side. Both players now playing off the top of their deck. You can see Aric's he's actually on, this is predominantly a red-black reanimator list. He doesn't even have a red source. Yeah, no block there. What he can actually do there is block the Sire, and then just tap the Mother for itself, and get protection for itself. It looks like Oliver's not aware of that line of play. He was on the ball enough to run out Caracas as his turn 1 play. So Caracas is going to check Caracas can check a Grizzlebrand. A Lotus Petal. So this is red source. Let's see if he can pick up the play this time. Sire of Insanity, block of Mother of Ruins, and tap Mother of Ruins. He's obviously safe to do this because neither player has any cards in hand. Yeah, so that's the play. So Sire's not going to be doing anything here. It does create a bit of an advantage for Aric, because it means any decent cards he can throw into his grave. But the problem here is that Oliver's got 2 Ether Vials, so he's going to be able to just cast anything that he gets. Mother of Ruins is just going to sit back and permanently block. So it's just a race now who can find a threat first. The problem for Aric is that threat has to be a non-legendary creature. He's got Iona or Elish Norn, okay, that will work. So Elish Norn will kill Mother of Ruins. Iona is legendary, and so is Elish Norn. So he can actually discard the Elish Norn, bring it back with whatever his reanimation spell is to get rid of the Mother of Ruins, so Sire of Stagnation can push through. But the problem is that Caracas is just going to bounce either of these creatures. So we'll see what the draw is here. I actually think this match is starting to swing in Oliver's favour. Another Ether Vial, 3 of them, wow. He's just going to discard the Ether Vial, so he wants to keep the Rishadan Port up here. See what the draw is for Aric. Mind you, this match has gone on longer than I thought it would. But the problem for Oliver here is that Elish Norn is going to wipe Mother of Ruins. Mother of Ruins can't stop Elish Norn. He finds a land, and he can only pass a turn. He needs to find a reanimation spell here. Just switch back to Aric. It's kind of we've got a stalemate here. The Sire of Stagnation. I still think it favours Aric, because if he can just get that Elish Norn, it's just going to wipe the board here. Collective Brutality is not going to do anything because Mother of Ruins will give what... Oh, actually, no, what he can do here, Collective Brutality, the Thalia... No, this isn't going to work. He's swinging first because Collective Brutality is sorcery, not instant. Unless, of course, Oliver blocks and declares red as the colour that he's protected from. Oh no, he's got him here because he's going to block with the Thalia. So Thalia's going to get the protection and not the... What colour did he choose? He chose black. Yeah, so Thalia's got the protection here, not the Mother of Ruins. So he can use the collective brutality to take down the Mother of Ruins. And I think that's the breakthrough he needed. Yep, I think big advantage now to Aric. I think he's got game one. Unless, of course, Oliver can find another Mother of Ruins. Let's see what he can find. No, it's only a Rishadan port. Is that a legendary land? No, it's not. Okay. And he can only erase here. Iona is not going to be very good because Oliver will actually play all his creatures through the Ether Vials. You can see in upkeep he's thinking about tapping down that Badlands. Yeah, he's going to tap the Badlands down here. Just to keep him off the red. Oh, but Exhume. Oh, now this is a tough one because Exhume will... oh no, Mother of Ruins can come back. He has to get the Elishnon. Got to give up the Lotus Petal here. And Elishnon will wipe the board. It's a 7 power, so game one I think goes to Aric. What did I miss there? What happened to Elishnon? Oh, okay, yeah, because it's legendary, so Caracas can make him discard it. So he's got 2 turns here. Oliver's got 2 turns to try and... Yeah, you can bring in the Mirren Crusader, so that's a good one. It checks the Sire of Stagnation, actually. So he's fighting. He's still very much alive. That Mirren Crusader is a good pickup here. See what he's going to draw. He's going to tap down the Badlands. This is a... Oliver's got a pretty decent lock here. Why can't I see the card that Aric got? Chancellor of the Annex. Okay. We'll go back to Oliver. Oh. He's just holding the fort with the Mirren Crusader. It's doing a good job on defense. And I'm amazed that this first game has gone as long as it has. I think swords to plowshares here. So Rishadan Port will tap down that red land again. Just preventing the... he can't play that Faithless Looting that's in his graveyard. I'm going to tap down 2. Black, yep. So the black's going to prevent a reanimate, and you can see that there's Exhume. So that's a good heads up play from Oliver. Exhume will go to the grave. Otherwise it was probably game over right there. See what Oliver's hand is. I actually think Oliver's starting to... He's starting to turn the corner now. Those ports are just going to keep tapping down the Badlands and the swamp every turn. What do you name with the Revoker? Probably Grizzlebrand. To prevent the 7-card draw. Yep, he named Grizzlebrand. This is not starting to not look very good now for Aric. See what his draw is. But yeah, the Richardson ports are just going to keep checking the swamp and the Badlands every turn. So he actually probably Aric needs to find another black source minimum here. There it is. Okay, that's it. That was a big draw. What can Oliver find? Well, Flicker Wisp. What do you flicker though? Well, I think he can wait to his turn. And then flicker in the upkeep, you flicker one of Aric's lands, and then he can rush it in port and tap down the other two. Although that's not going to work because Aric can just crack the polluted delta on his main phase to get access to the mana. Flicker Wisp does have flying, so it's going to be able to... It's going to be able to evade. Yeah, so just a tough decision to think through here. It's the sort of match where one card either way is going to swing this match. A Swords to Plowshares, and I think Oliver has it. A Reanimate, and I think Aric has the match. He's violating this in main phase. Oh, yeah, sorry, he has to do it on his turn because otherwise he's going to lose it to the Sire of Insanity anyway. But what does he do here? I think he could just flicker the Sire, perhaps? No, because if he flickers the Sire, he's just going to make it stronger with by removing the Animate Dead from it. I don't really see any good targets to flicker here. He's just going to query a rule. What's he going to look at? Oh, okay. I think he's going to try and flicker the Animate Dead, which means that Aric will have to sacrifice the Sire. That's a nice play if he's going to go for that one. I think it's going to work because the Animate Dead leaves the battlefield. So the moment it leaves the battlefield, then its condition will trigger and the Sire will be sacked. I can't really comment that at this stage because just in case Oliver hasn't seen that line, I suspect that is the line that he is taking. And it's a very good one. So now I think Oliver's actually got game one. Yep, he's doing that. So he's going to flicker wisp, target the animate dead, which should trigger so that Sai Yep, so he does the animate dead, the trigger goes on the stack, and Sire will be sacrificed. Yep, that's the play. And I think that is game one to Aric. Sorry, to Felix. I'm half asleep. So game one to Oliver.
Daddy,
Yes?
Mommy said you could have done these
Oh, okay.
because they've been laying down for a couple of hours. You know. So can I just have some?
Right, hold on.
Oh,
So Flicker Wisp will bring it back, but Animate won't have... Oh, actually, Animate Dead's gonna bring back... Will it bring back another... target? This is tough. Just give me a second, I want to see this. Yeah, so he's gonna actually wipe the board.
Daddy, can I have Mommy's chewing gum? Mommy! Mommy! Can I have your chewing gum? She said I can have one chewing gum on first, Daddy. Okay.
So the Elish Norn has bounced the field again. But Caracas will just bounce the Elish Norn, so we're back to square one. But it means that both players now can start drawing and keeping cards. Okay. Okay, so he's going for another animate dead, which he drew. He has to get a non-legendary creature. So we're back to square one. Sire of Insanity again. Oh no, he's going to go Chancellor of the Annex this time. Which has flying and evasion, so it can get around. He's got an Elish Norn in hand from the Caracas bounce. This is the card. I saw this in the previous one. I really don't understand why it's in the deck. I suspect it's a metagame call. So we've got a 3-turn clock now. So we tap down the lands. See what... I think Aric's deck only runs 13 lands, so he's just about drawn through his entire list here. I think this Reanimator list as well, it's a sort of deck that attracts a ton of sideboard hate, so it's probably quite important for Aric to pick up some wins before sideboarding here. See what he picks up with Faithless Looting. Wait, what happened there? Oh, okay, in response, Spirit of Labyrinth. That's a good play. Now, this is kind of a heads-up play from... So the Faithless Looting, he can't draw more than one card, so Oliver's quite on the ball there. And it might look a bit suspicious, this card being in game one of this matchup, but we saw it in the round robin. So he's definitely playing this main board. My guess is with so many brainstorms and so on running around, it's a viable option. He's down to... So we've got an old-fashioned race here. He's got lethal on board, so if... We'll see what Aric can draw here. I don't think this option is open anymore. I think because he still has the other two blacks, it's a bit pointless to be tapping down. You can shut him off from red though, I guess. Thoughtseize, well, if he casts, no, he's just dead, so Oliver's going to take game one. Bring in Phyrexian Revoker and that's lethal. So what a first match for Legacy. 1-0 up to card disadvantage. He'll probably names Grizzlebrand again. I have to query them offline how they can name those cards so quickly because my list is huge, takes me ages to scroll through them. But he just has lethal on board, so game one goes to Oliver. Game one to Oliver, so we do not have sideboarding now, it's just straight to game 2. And that's a pretty good opening hand, I believe, for... although it can't put the creatures in the grave, so I'm not sure if he wants to keep that. Oliver's hand looks to be a good one. I think he's going to keep that one. Yeah, Oliver keeps his hand, so Aric has mulliganed. This one he can keep. That's a pretty good hand. Aric on to play this time. Caracas comes down first, but it's tapped. Caracas will check the... Now this is you get a basic black here? I think you have to, because if he's respecting Wasteland, which is we can see as in Oliver's hand, he doesn't. He's only got one land, I believe. Yep. So he's going to entomb. Chrome Mox will get him a black. So he's got two ways to go here. He'll Chrome Mox the Sire, so then he can either exhume or animate the dead. As we look, he's put Grizzlebrand in there. So he's only going to get one hit out of Grizzlebrand, unfortunately, for him. But Chromox is going to be able to... oh, he went for Chancellor. Okay, so he wants access to white through the Chromox. Animate Dead will bring back Grizzlebrand. But Caracas is going to bounce that next turn. Finds his second land. You would imagine here that the he would, with the Caracas there. I'm not really sure what his line is here. But he knows that Oliver has to commit the Caracas to the Grizzlebrand.
No, but look after this girl, she swallowed this one. She take one from here?
Mm.
Yeah, she swallowed it. I thought coming down to tell you. No. Do you want to go for lunch? Are you still doing your thing?
Yeah, this will be finished shortly.
Can I cut my nails?
Mm. He could do one more activation from Grizzlebrand, but I think he saved that for the... Two bad lands now. Tapping 3, so he's going to collect a Brutality here, I'm guessing. Always thinks otherwise. Caracas is really causing problems for him. He's down to 4 life, so he's trying to... He could actually Chromox again, well, he doesn't even need to actually, to exhume an Ionis and name white. But he's got to get the Iona into the Graveyard. What's he gonna... Okay, Sire of Stagnation. Is it both players discard? Each player discards. Oh yeah, okay. Well, Grizzlebrand's gonna get bounced, so that won't work.
I'm doing myself.
What did he just play? I think he should have got rid of the
Sophie,
Iona. This is a much more explosive turn. And both players lose there, so no Wasteland now. Oliver, oh, he's drawn a Wasteland. So, yep, first things first is to bounce the Grizzlebrand. So Grizzlebrand will be gone. Wasteland to Badlands. But neither of these are legendary creatures, so I think Aric's going to tie this game up at 1 apiece. He's got access to plenty of mana. So Oliver needs 2 top decks here. 2 top decks in a row to get himself out of this one. That one won't do it. So game 2 will go to Aric and we'll go to sideboards at 1 apiece. Yeah, I think if they were to have any hope, he had to come back and take that match, which he did. So now he's got three sideboarded games where I'm not sure what Oliver has in the sideboard, but you'd imagine he's got a bit of hate for this deck. Sire of Stagnation is causing him plenty of problems. I keep calling it Sire of Stagnation. That's actually from Battle for Zendikar. Sire of Insanity, sorry. Which is from Dragon's Maze. So 1 game apiece. In the format that's going to decide who the champions are. Oliver entered this match undefeated in Legacy. He went 5-0 in the Swiss rounds. And I spoke to Aric on the podcast, which comes out on Monday, and he was pretty confident because in the round robin series, Oliver played this deck, was a bit left field after he's been playing elves for a number of seasons in the league, so that everyone was expecting elves, and Aric was far more confident now that he's seen the deck. Not sure if there's much of a difference between sideboard and not sideboard, and I'm not sure what Aric's going to be doing sideboard wise, because Caracas is the card that causes him issues. If he has a Pithing Needle, I guess you could play Pithing Needle named Caracas just to stop the Grizzlebrand bounce. Looks like they're thinking long and hard about this one. We still have, well, Michael, who is Oliver's opponent, had to go immediately after his match, and David, who's their standard player, his internet got cut off, so Oliver's by himself, but everybody's here to support Aric from his team. as we're back into it now. Just, I don't know what causes this delay at the start. Oh, here we go. So this looks like a decent hand for Aric. Oliver's keeping his hand. We'll just have a look. Oh, no wonder he's keeping Rest in Peace. So Aric keeps his hand as well. This is going to be punishing. How's oh, Unmask will get that Rest in Peace though. As he can, that was lucky. So we look at the hand there, Sanctum Prelate. We could probably name one or two, would be fine there. Containment Priest is a good one. So yeah, he's got a pretty good hand here. Aric's thinking about this for a while, but surely you take the Rest in Peace. You can see it would be turn 3 where he would get be able to play the Council's Judgment. I think the line here is you take Rest in Peace, play your Swamp, play Dark Ritual, Entomb, then Exhume. While Oliver has nothing in his hand. But he takes Council's Judgment. So I think the thinking here is he's going to try and get this win right off the bat here. So see what he put in his graveyard. Grizzlebrand. Grizzlebrand will plus. Dark Rituals, nothing really there. Oh, he's got a Lotus Petal, okay. He's gonna go for another one here. Probably the white card that makes him pay extra. Oh no, Sire of Insanity. So he's got another pretty good turn 1 play here. So it looks like he's got a pretty dominant board even without, and as Oliver has to discard his hand. That is huge. Huge turn 1 play from Aric. And I think this one's just over. Why can't I see hands? Oh yeah, because there isn't any cards in hand. See, as Aric, he drew a Flicker Wisp, but that's no good. He draws another Exhumed, so Exhumed will actually give him back a creature, so I don't think you really want that. Animate you certainly want. You can Faithless Loot away it. There's the Wear and Tear. And this is a very fast game too. Game 3, sorry. He'll just swing the first time so you can get the another 7 cards from Grizzlebrand. Yeah, I think Chancellor of Annex just locks him out here. Yep. So I believe that's game. So it's going to be a 2-1 lead now for Aric, and yep, and Oliver concedes. So Der Forlorn at Alvin Haufen have taken a 2-1 lead, and they're 1 win away. They've got to win one of the next 2 to take down the championship after they finished on top. Oliver entered this match undefeated in Legacy, and you saw he had a pretty good resilient win in game 1. But Aric struck back now with 2 wins, and even on that play just now, you saw the brilliant thinking from Aric, because I didn't see the line to take it all on turn 1. My first inclination was to take down the rest in peace, because that looked like trouble, but as you can see, it didn't even get to turn 2 for rest in peace to matter. So just thinking about the sideboards a bit again, I wonder if Oliver has any Leyline of Sanctity in his sideboard. Could be quite handy. So after the first match went for quite a long time, the next 2 were very quick affairs. Seems to be the thing with Reanimator. It wins quite quickly like that, or it loses quite quickly. Okay, we're back. Oliver needing to win to stay alive. Is this I think Oliver's taken a mulligan immediately. Oh, still no lands. 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, so he's going to mulligan those 7. Oh, he's got a Swords to Plowshares this time, and a Mother of Ruins. And that actually looks like a really good hand for Oliver, as Aric has kept his. So Oliver doesn't have a turn 1 play here now, because of the Chancellor of the Annex. Yep. That's going to be counted. Aric finds his land. Oh, and again, Unmasked doing work. What do you take here? Mother of Ruins, I think? Or Fairy Macabre might cause you problems as well. I think it's... Is rollback even on here? Oh, it's not enabled. Yeah, so he's made a huge mistake. I suspect he didn't want to put the Grizzlebrand as the card. He's meant to do Exhumed. And I think if that's the line that, if that's the play that Aric wanted to roll back to do a different card instead of Grizzlebrand, then Oliver's perfectly entitled to deny that rollback anyway, because that's simply a misplay rather than an error of X-Mage. What did he choose anyway? Either vial. What am I missing here? Unmask didn't. Oh, did he targeted himself? Okay, so his Exhumed will for Fairy Macabre in response, which can just take the Chancellor of the Annex. So I think after all of that, it wouldn't have made a difference because the Grizzlebrand misplayed, because Fairy Macabre would have just taken the Grizzlebrand rather than the Chancellor. What am I discard? Yep, so Fairy Macabre will exile the Chancellor. But this is discard, so I'm not sure why it goes to the battlefield. Oh, because no, sorry, because that's a nice play from Oliver. So he casts Exhume. With Exhume on the stack, you discard Fairy Macabre. Take out the cards that he wants to revive with Exhume. Then Fairy Macabre goes to the grave, Exhume resolves, and Fairy Macabre comes back. So yeah, I would say massive advantage Oliver now. No targets for the Exhumed. Just see if there's anything. I probably would have Chrome Moxed then, but Wasteland, and this one's over. I think we're going to a game 5. Yep, concession from Aric pretty quickly there. So that was quite one-sided in the end. And after all that battling, we've been going now for nearly 5 hours. We're down to a game 5 in Legacy to decide the teams who wins the team championships. Card disadvantage up against Der Forlorn Atal Arven Haufen. The European side finishing on top. They'll be on the play for the important game 5. And as we've seen from Aric, his deck is perfectly capable of doing a lot of damage on turn 1. So there are quite a bit of delay in the sideboard, so I'm guessing that they have transitional, like, various sideboards depending on if they're on the play or on the draw. But the way that this matchup is played out, it very much looks like if Aric can get his ideal draw and can go off on turn 1 or even 2, then it's hard to beat. But if he delays past that, then it's clearly in Oliver's favour. This one, is he keeping? Okay, so Aric keeps that hand, or look at Oliver's hand. I'd be tempted to keep that hand. I'm not an expert at the deck, obviously, but Path to Exile, Mother of Ruins. Yep, Oliver keeps as well. You just have to hope that he doesn't have Aric, who's on the top of the screen this time, has no turn 1 play. Just see what the draw is for Oliver. Not the land. Okay, so here we go. What's he going to entomb? A Grizzlebrand, of course. Well, he could get a bit greedy here, and I mean, if he wanted something other than Grizzlebrand, he could Faithless Looting here to, because he's got the Lotus Petal to also exhume. But he's not going to. Just going to bring back Grizzlebrand. And this looks ominous. I probably would have been tempted there if I was Oliver, just to not play, just to hold my removal spells rather than Mother of Ruins. Because if Aric's going to do anything, it's going to probably involve Grizzlebrand, which Mother of Ruins can't block anyway. I'm not sure what the delay is here. Oh, it's Oliver we're waiting for. So down comes Grizzlebrand. We'll start with the Thoughtseize. See what's going on over there. What do you take? Probably Swords to Plowshares, so you can get the... Or Phyrexian... He doesn't have the land, so... Tough decision here. Revoker's going to shut down your Grizzlebrand. But he needs the extra mana for it. Thalia is going... I don't think is top of the list, but Thalia will mean you pay 3 for your reanimation. And then there's the 2 removal spells. I'm leaning towards Swords to Plowshares. Because he can always, even if Revoker comes down, he can Faithless Looting away the Elish Norn and then bring it back to take down both the Mother of Ruins and the Revoker. Yeah. Well, he chose the Path to Exile. I'm a bit surprised by that, to be honest. Okay, so he goes in, he's down to 2 life. 2 more Lotus Petals you can chuck out, as well as a Chrome Mox. Going to use one of his black to entomb something. Entomb Sire of Insanity. So he can actually get the Sire back now. Yep, and he's going to do exactly that. Sire of Insanity has been the all-star, has been the MVP of this finals in Legacy. So there's not really much point here, and you may as well use an unmask. I was going to say there's not much point here in not using these, because they're all going to the grave anyway. Animate the Dead. So a big turn 2 play here. I said this before the match started. If it goes beyond turn 2, you favour Oliver, but Elishnorn is going to wipe out Mother of Ruins here. Oh, he goes for a Chancellor. Okay, so I think that's actually a lock. Because it means that Oliver has to first find a land and then find something to he finds a Flicker Wisp, so he's just going to lose that. And it's 17 damage about to come across. So yeah, it's a lockout. So I think this game is over, and they're Forlorn at Luarven Haufen. They finished on top, and they're also going to win the championship. And Oliver, in the process, will take his first legacy loss of the championship. Just gonna play it super safe. See what his draw is for the turn. Reanimate. You can actually just reanimate Elishnorn here anyway to wipe that Mother of Ruins. 7. Actually, that would be lethal if you did that before combat. 7, 13, 17. Yeah, if you reanimated a Elishnorn, he would have won on that turn. So what can Oliver possibly do here? Pithy Needle will be countered by... Yeah, and there's the concession from Oliver, so the game is over. 3 games to 2 in the Legacy Finals. A great finish.